and welcome to this special Island Stat Sports Talk. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is the president of the Bermuda National Athletic Association, Dr. Freddie Evans. Doc, yesterday, we spoke about the disappointment in injuries and age eligibility. The unfortunate thing with both of those, we've lost a number of Carifta athletes. But we must move forward. We have to move in the direction that, because the games are scheduled to take place next weekend in Grenada.
Yes, sir.
Can you give us an update as to where we stand as with the Carifta team?
Good morning, Earl, and thank you for the opportunity. And as always, we appreciate what you do for track and field specifically and sports in general. Yeah, it has been a rough year for us. I'm losing 7 athletes who would have been part of the Carifta team or were participating in Carifta last year, and they're not able to participate this year is a real setback. But like you say, we're moving forward. We have a young, dynamic squad and a lot of potential there. So we're excited about the possibilities. When we get through talking about the people we're inviting to participate, you'll notice that we don't have any under 20 women, and that's a sore point with Iora being injured, Janaz being injured, Shayla being injured, Zenji having not quite she had a tough senior year. So those are 4 of our under 20 women who won't be participating. So here we are.
Are you able to reveal the invitees yet, or you wanted to wait until you had asked or informed them?
No, sir. I mean, it's a Island Stats exclusive. I'll give it to you first.
Okay, let's break it down by under 17 female, under 17 male, and under 20 male, because I guess that's the areas where we'll have competition.
Those are the areas we will have competition. Absolutely. So, Earl, allow me to thank Akon, who came through to support the Carifta team along with the theme. This is a heavy lift. We do have a charter flight because getting to Grenada is difficult at best. So we probably couldn't have done it without their support. So I'm humbled and thankful for that. So let's get right to it. Returning to the Carifta team is Priya Wilson. Priya will probably be in the 100 meters in the 4x1. She'll be joined by Lachey Jones, also who will do the 4x1. And Lachey will probably be part of the 4x4 team. Moving on to the 200 meters, Elise Dickinson will be back in the team, and we're very excited about Elise's potential. First time Carifta athlete. Last year she was injured, but she came back and worked really hard, and she's progressed quite well. And that's Sania Place. She'll be running the 2 also, and she'll be part of that 4x1 relay. Moving into the 400, Amaris Munya, who we are very proud of. Amaris continues to work hard every day. She's putting in the work, and the benefits are showing. She'll run the 4 and the 8. She'll be joined in the 4 by Elise Dickinson. In the 8, we're going to invite Ziza Russell to compete, so she might be in the 8, or Jada Grant will be in the 8. And as we move into the 15, I believe it will be Jada and Ziza in the 15. And we have another first timer is Tatiana Souza. Tatiana joined us last year and started throwing javelin and shot. She's made tremendous strides in javelin this year, and the coaches recommended her and the board approved her to go down there and continue her development. So we're excited about that. And the last young lady we added to the under 17 team is Kalila Daly. Kalila is an outstanding football player, an outstanding track athlete. We're glad to have her invited to the team. She'll be around for the relay. She'll do the 4x4, 4x1, and possibly a mixed 4x1.
Okay.
And that's your under 17 women.
Okay. All right. And the under 17 men?
Miles Outerbridge is going to run the 100 and 200. Dalen Scott will be in the 200 and 400. Gianluca Bartelli, the great Luca, is going to run the 15 along with Cameron Atkins, and they both will run the 3,000. And that's your under 17 boys.
Okay. And then the under 20 boys.
Denver Tucker will do the 1 along with Nori Robinson. Denver and Nori will double up and do the 200 also. 400 will be run by Sear Carey and Jason Simons. 1,500 will have Jake Smith and Jake Brislane. 5,000 will have Jake Brislane. And Jazad James will make a return to the octathlon. And I'm happy for Jazad. I'm proud of him. He hasn't been able to compete overseas. So we set a standard for him to compete one-day event. He did 5 events in 2 hours, and his point total exceeded his day one total at Carifta last year, where he won a bronze medal. So we're optimistic about his potential too.
Okay. All right. So 19 athletes selected or invited to be part of the Bermuda Carifta Games team for 2024. Okay, so now I guess the one thing around the table when you guys were discussing this, putting together this team or inviting these athletes, the one thing we never talk about is the expectation for these games. I think a lot of times a lot of pressure is put on our athletes, to come back with a medal. Um, but looking at this team, I would say very inexperienced. You have an under 20 young man um, taking part in Carifta for the first time.
Yes,
Um, and if you look at that under 20 for the first time is no experience at all. Came out to the track, took off his jersey, took off his jacket, took off his tracksuit pants, ran the 1, qualified, ran the 2, the following week qualified, and now he's going into pretty much an unknown.
sure.
So expectations from the coaches, from BNNAA, for these athletes to take part in the games.
I love how you framed it. That's exactly right when you're talking about Nori Robinson. But Jason Simons is in that same boat.
Yes.
We we wanted to reward effort also and discipline and determination. And Jason has demonstrated that without a doubt. He's just been working really, really hard. And so the
Mm-hmm.
coaches made sure he was included, although his time currently is not at the standard. Um,
Right.
and Nori, it's only Bermuda, so I had the privilege of teaching most of his family at Warwick Sec, and Devon knows his father quite well. And so when he appeared on the scene, it was a surprise to me, but it wasn't a surprise to Devon. Devon knew about
Right.
this young man, and so he made sure he was out. So we're happy. We're happy to have him. But expectations are, we love to have a medal. But in the conversation this evening when we meet with the team at the NSC National Stadium at 6:30, my conversation was I expect the best effort. I expect them to go out and carry themselves and represent their families in Bermuda graciously, respectfully, and compete hard. Give me your best. That's all I can ever ask you for. We should have. I I don't expect anyone who hasn't met the standard yet not to achieve the standard at the games. Why is that? Competition is different. The weather will be different, but you know, you cover us every weekend, so we got 1 or 2 kids in different events running against each other. It's really hard to generate times that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in a field that all runs and you go give your best effort, you'll hit the standard. You hit a personal best, and after that, chips fall where they may. You might land on the podium, but when you have delivered your best, you can never feel bad about your performance.
Mm-hmm. We've seen, as you've mentioned, Munya, and in that regard, you Jada Grant.
Yes,
these two will be, although under 17, seniors in the team and leaders of the team for what they've been able to accomplish at the sports center because they've been through this before. Not to put any more pressure on them, for going out for their individual events, but a lot of these youngsters will be looking to these two to give them advice on what to anticipate, what to expect. How do we get through this intimidating moment, because it can be intimidating for some people who have never been on a track with that many people screaming out for various different countries.
Screaming out, making noise, beating pots and pans. And remind me, I have a sidebar to tell you about Grenada that I learned last night. But back to those two young ladies, one of the best things about them is they lead by example. They're the way they carry themselves, the way they prepare for each event, the way they are focused on what they're delivering. That will set the tone for the rest of that under 17 team. And don't forget we have Elise in there. Elise is not only a leader by example, she's the most vocal leader on that team.
Okay.
She's the taskmaster. She'll get after people and she wants best efforts. Kalila Daly, Coach Juma Machette reached out to me and I carried that message to the board. Kalila's been fighting through some injuries. She's healthy now, but she's working on that fitness, right? But he was like, Doc, she is going to be a special athlete. If you give her that opportunity, even if it's just a opportunity to enter that relay team, she'll be a warrior out there. So we're looking for that kind of tenacity, that kind of fight. Like I said, deliver your best, and we'll take that.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I mean, those games are expected to be exciting. I mean, Grenada has been building themselves up. I noted that you were a guest on a Carifta show last evening. Um, Tell us a little bit about what you learned more about the upcoming games.
Okay, first of all, you don't miss anything in sports. If you knew I was on TV in Grenada, you nail it all, man. Respect. So the thing I learned about their game specifically is they're banning horns and what is it, the Zulu Zelas or the South
Yes,
African
yes,
horn?
yeah.
Uh, their local LOC committee deputy chairman was on last night and telling the Grenadian families there will not be allowed. You had it at sports day. I'm paraphrasing badly. You don't know how to behave. You interfere with the games. We had a professional meet coming. You'll have no horns. I was like, oh boy. Oh boy. This is going to be a raucous crowd. Don't you bring your horn. Security will check your bag. We're going to take the horn. I was like, wow, okay. And the irony
Well,
is I had to bring a horn.
I was just gonna say, you gotta let the Bermuda lot know, leave those things in the houses back here. Do not put them in your bags,
You can take them if you want to, but they will be taken away. They made that
right?
abundantly clear.
Yeah, because I mean, when a lot of people they're excited, so and you don't have these type of meets on a regular basis, so they know not to be quiet at the start. As much as the organizers will be begging quiet at the start, quiet at the start. It's too much excitement for some people, and it's not like these games are in your country every year. I mean, we've hosted it what, twice since 2012.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
and
and also, it's been a long time since the games have been in the southern region.
right.
And southern region is much more accessible to the islands down south. So they come in larger contingents with more fan support. So,
Hmm.
Trinidad's bringing a full contingent. They're bringing 86 athletes. Well, 88's the max. Jamaica will
Right.
have their 88. Bahamas is close to 50. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, Bahamas 88. Barbados close to 50. So it's going to be something special.
Sure, sure, sure. Well, we want to wish all these athletes and their families all the best. I know this now starts the jitters because you've gotten the invite. You'll get your briefing this evening, and then it's preparation, mental. It's not much more coaches can do to get them ready. It's now the mental side, preparing, making sure you have everything you need for the journey, ensuring that whatever is needed for competition is there. Um, and basically, as you've talked about the weather, make sure you're hydrated. Make sure all of that stuff is done ahead of time before you even board the plane, because once you hit the ground, you hit the ground running. Everything happens so fast at these games that if you fall behind something, it might cost you down the road.
Absolutely. And we're going to a different environment, different humidity, different elevation. Um, for some of us, thankfully, a different temperature. But for those distance runners, that heat will be different. The 3,000,
Hmm.
5,000 meter guys are going to have a little bit something to deal with.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also might be time that we get that they seek out former athletes to ask them about how did they get through some tough conditions. I mean, we had what we called the winter Carifta Games, what, in 2016.
I still take shtick from people about that, man. Like, oh, you guys held the Winter Games. That's the coldest Caribbean I ever been to. That.
But it's all good. It's all good. You know what you're gonna get, rain, blow or shine. Carifta Games will go on, and we want to wish Bermuda National Athletic Association and leagues all the best. Represent Bermuda well. We're here to support, and we welcome whatever, as long as their best effort. That's what we're looking for. And you've already said
Absolutely.
it. Their best effort. Be satisfied with that.
Hey, it's not too late for you to go. We still have seats on that charter flight. If you want to go, contact me.
Okay, we'll do.
All
And
right.
and and let me
All
ask
right.
you a question, because we have today we have the senior school track and field uh, seminars taking place.
Yes.
Is there an opportunity for someone to shine today? A late invite.
The calendar doesn't work with that. We have to submit the team by 10 a.m. this morning. So that's why you got this
Ah,
exclusive interview. And somebody might
okay.
have popped up. In fact, some school sports, we had some athletes come out. There's a young man. His last name is Gibbons. He's from Cedar Bridge. He's jumping 170, 173. He's got basketball shoes and basketball shorts on. Jerry, Mr. Swan worked with him in 2 sessions. Saturday he jumped. He didn't clear 1.8, but I mean, if we can get him on a long-term basis, he could be something special. So I mean, those kind of
Sure.
things happen. That's actually how we met Tatiana. She threw well in her school sports last year and started training last year, and now she's on the Carifta team. So, you know, we want school sports to be more of a portal to athletics. I hope to work with the BSSF in expanding what they do and getting more consistency out of the training, which will help not only them have a better school sports, but help us in the long term to identify athletes and promote opportunities for young people. So, it's a community effort.
Right. Right. All right. Well, Doc, thank you very much for this opportunity. We look forward to speaking on. And again, all the best for the Bermuda Carifta Games team 2024.
Thank you, sir.
All righty.